people are sleeping. Yeah, a lot of people who have been awakened are still sleeping. Oh, is that what poem? What's your poem say about that? Is there something special about September 14th? Yeah, it seems like there's something special about September 14th. This is poem from David Smith of New York City from September 2018 on the Wix blog, David Smith 208, read by the author. Oh, so you're reading your own poem? Yeah. Why? Well, the poet should give at least one reading of his poem so there can be some understanding of it, and maybe there's some insight into the poem. Oh, that's a beautiful picture. Wow. There's some beautiful pictures here. Wow. Something special about that. Really? But are the wood people awake? Are you awake? I'm awake right now. It says poem. In some ways, I like the position with the hands on the knees. It creates like a triangle between the knees and the third eye. It creates a space that is different than the square space of a TV. Oh, so you're saying a TV is like a square and a triangle. There's a triangle between the 3 points of your third eye and your knees. In meditation, all the past is forgotten. While the future is going to be no good anyways, unless you succeed in meditation today. Oh. So the past is forgotten and the future is going to be no good anyways. Unless you succeed in meditation today? Oh, I see. So you have no future, basically. If your meditation fails, then you probably don't have a future. No. So all that is happening would be in that triangle. Maybe that is where you get the pyramid. All significant beauty, bliss, and truth is mostly inside. The outside world is a wilderness. I can't see what there is to do there. Maybe get a coffee and read a book. Also, you can't find anything to do? What about, I thought you wanted to go to a jazz club. Didn't they have Smalls live on YouTube? You could watch YouTube. Or you could just get a coffee and read a book. Yeah, well, I often do that. Get a coffee and read a book. I still read a book. Well, yeah. Otherwise, the physical world is mostly there is to create pain. Oh, when you experience pleasure, it is actually coming from your own soul and body. Oh, so when you experience pleasure, it's actually coming from your own soul. People are tricked by illusion. When you pursue either gold or a woman, it usually leads to a nightmare. Oh yeah, wow. Gold and women. Yeah, you look rather gun shy. as they lead to nightmare. Do they create a nightmare oftentimes? Yeah, break up with them. That could be a nightmare. Thomas Merton boldly ends his chapter on the pure heart saying, quote, pure perfect chastity establishes one in a state of solitude, peace, tranquility, clarity, gentleness, and joy, in which one is fully disposed for meditation and contemplative prayer. He also says that watching TV, quote, could become a kind of unnatural surrogate for contemplation, and TV is meretricious. That's MERETRICIOUS. So, oh yeah, he's Thomas Merton. He would have lived during the time of the television. It is better to look at the light and sound inside your own head. Look at Darshan Singh, who spent every waking moment spreading his love to every person, with the territory of every living person knowing that his time was short. To receive a life-inspiring class from Darshan Singh and then just watch TV would be absurd. You don't reach enlightenment, so you can just go back to sleep. Yeah, don't reach enlightenment and go back to sleep. Darshan Singh did not practice dead-sitting Zen. He was alive and awake and poetic as well as energetic. Wow. Oh, that's a good plug. That's the good thing about Darshan Singh. DS Bum, September 14th. Darshan Singh birthday. Oh, that's special. And so, are you remaining awake after he woke you up, or are you sleeping? Page 89, The Pure Heart, New Seeds of Contemplation by Thomas Merton. Hashtag watching TV, hashtag meretricious, hashtag Darshan Singh, hashtag Thomas Merton, hashtag chastity, hashtag Zen, hashtag enlightenment.
What are you doing? No time. No minutes. Wow, he's always late. He comes late. These young people are late.
Hashtag sleep. Oh, has a picture of Darshan Singh, an early picture, young picture. It has Davy with Darshan Singh in India, 1989. That's a number of pictures of it. It's his birthday. Oh, I see. As Thomas Merton's New Seeds of Contemplation. It has Conference of the Birds picture. It says, if the royal glance falls upon you, in that moment 100 secrets will be unveiled to your soul. But if such a glance does not grace you, you may never know yourself or gain awareness. If all your life you seek solitude, how can you then move forward without a guide in the path you must walk with a wise one? Do not walk the path alone. Do not plunge into the sea and become blind. The birds begin the journey. He's talking about the conference of the bird out. Meretricious. Yeah, you don't even know what the word means. That's why I look it up. Meretricious. Meretricious. Well, you said the TV was meretricious. Meretricious means apparently attractive but having in reality no value or integrity. Means worthless, valueless, cheap, twatty, trashy, tasteless, kitschy, false, artificial, fake, imitation, tacky, chintzy. Meretricious, related to the characteristic of a prostitute. Latin, to be hired prostitute. Meretricious. To be hired like a prostitute. Also the TV. Oh, so you're saying after you've been woken up by the master, you're not supposed to go back to sleep. So even the woke sleep, some people awaken go back to sleep. All right, so to make sure that I don't fall asleep, go back to sleep after being initiated, I'm going to reread this poem. In some ways, I like the position with the hands on the knees. It creates like a triangle between your knees and your third eye. It creates a space that is different than the square space of a TV. In meditation, all of the past is forgotten. All the future is going to be no good anyways. Yeah, my future is basically no good anyways. So. Yeah, you have no future really. So, unless you succeed in meditation today. So all that is happening would be in the triangle. Maybe that is where they get the pyramid. All significant beauty, bliss, and truth is mostly inside. The outside world is a wilderness. I can't see what there is to do there. Maybe get coffee and read a book. Yeah, so you could maybe today. I know it's raining and you probably can't play tennis, so those are the things you could do besides meditate and play the piano. Is get a coffee and read a book. Oh, is that all the choices you have now? Or do you have any choices in life? Or do you have any future at all? Or is there do you have anything besides that? Or, no, I just have meditation, playing tennis, getting a coffee and reading a book and playing the piano. Otherwise, the physical world is mostly there to create pain. When you experience pleasure there, it is actually coming from your own soul and body. Also, the pleasure you're getting is coming out of your soul. And sometimes the pleasure comes out of your body after you exercise for 4 hours. Yeah, after I played tennis for 3 hours and swim for an hour, maybe 20 laps or so, I could get runner's high endorphin rush from my body. So also you get pleasure out of your body from exercise. Yeah, people are tricked by illusion when they pursue either when they pursue either gold, which is money, or a woman. So yeah, if I go chasing after women, it usually leads to a nightmare. Yeah, that's when you have to break up with them. Thomas Merton boldly ends his chapter on the pure heart, saying, quote, perfect chastity establishes one in a state of solitude, peace, tranquility, clarity, gentleness, and joy, in which one can podcast freely without interruption. Perfect chastity establishes one in a state of solitude, peace, tranquility, appreciate clarity, gentleness, and joy, in which one is fully disposed for meditation and contemplative prayer. He also says that watching TV, quote, could become a kind of unnatural surrogate for contemplation, and TV is meretricious. It is better to look at the light and sound inside your own head. Look at Sant Darshan Singh. He spent every waking moment spreading his love to every person. Wow, what an example. With the territory of every living person, knowing that his time was short. To receive a life-inspiring glance from Darshan Singh and then just watch TV would be absurd. You don't reach enlightenment, so you can just go back to sleep. Yeah, wow. You don't. So if you reach enlightenment, that means you have to keep reaching enlightenment. You can't go back to sleep. Darshan Singh did not practice dead sitting Zen. He was alive and awake and poetic as well as energetic. September 14th, Darshan Singh birthday, in which even despite the fact that even awoke sleep. I don't know. I wonder how I should support myself. I wonder if my poetry will support me. I hope that my own poetry will support me. Is it supporting you now? As you read it again. September 12th, 2018. Okay. What do you hope for? The poem says, poem. I would hope that my own poetry will support me. It is nice to be in the habit of going to a special place in your own head. Yeah, I'm hoping it'll keep me, I could go to a special place in my head. My poems will support me. You have to be committed to the practice of being dead. Zeal and passion is what is worth remembering. It is good to celebrate being empty. I am like a Taoist who, instead of ego, admires energy. I like to see it flowing. I get up early in hope of finding more. Oh, so you're looking for energy. You get up looking for energy. Maybe you got up too early and you would have more energy. Slept on it. So I sit on the floor next to the window so I can get some breeze. Yeah, you like to breeze, I guess. Energy comes by selfless service and cultivation. It has to be maintained. You can't sit on your butt in front of a TV. In the evening, you can meditate for an hour, walk for an hour, and read for an hour. Flipping channels can damage your brain and put something external in your chart.
Take a break.
The soul needs frequent recharging, and if it just becomes pain, it is good to have solitude in your own room. Oh, you have solitude? Yeah, I have some solitude right now in my room. Okay. But you said it is good to have solitude in your own realm. Yeah. So you have your own room and you're in solitude. Yeah. Persons who don't have it disturb others. This is covered in Thomas Merton. T.S. poem, September 12th. New Seeds of Contemplation by Thomas Merton. Learn to be alone, page 80. Hashtag Rokan, hashtag Thomas Merton, hashtag Taoism, hashtag Chi. And then it has, what is that stuff? It's from whoa. The quotes, you'll have, Autumn darkness descends on this road I travel alone. Basho, whitening shadows of darkness, the night heralds shriek. Says here, who says my poems are poems? My poems are not poems. When you know that my poems are not poems, then I can speak of poetry. So they're not poems. Here it says, from dewdrops on a lotus sleep. It says, it's a pity a gentleman in refined retirement composing poetry. Yeah, it's a pity that what's happening here. I'm a gentleman in refined retirement composing poetry. It's a pity. He models his work on the classic verse of China, and his poems are elegant, full of fine phrases. But if you don't write of things deep inside your own heart, what's the use of churning out so many words? Yeah, what's the use if I don't go deep into my own heart? What's the use of this podcast? My daily fare, playing with the village children. I've always gotten a few cloth balls tucked in my sleeves. Not good for so much else. I do know how to enjoy the tranquility of spring. This cotton ball in my sleeve is more valuable than 1,000 pieces of gold. I'm quite skillful at ball playing, you know. Oh. If someone wants to learn my secret, here it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, so you're skilled at ball playing. Oh. Yeah, that's Rokan. Oh, you have a picture of you with the volleyball. Did you play volleyball today? Yeah. You played volleyball? Yeah. Cool. Not tennis. Rokan. Oh, I see. So what you're saying is you're hoping that your own poetry will support you. You said, I hope that my own poetry will support me. Well, that looks like a nice formula, but is it true? You say the charging of words seems to rise exponentially. The charging. September 11th. The charging of the words seems to rise with the exponential. If you take E to T, okay, E to T. If you take E to T, you can calculate the differential. If you do Simon on, you can increase your withdrawal power, or you can replace the nonsense in your head with just pure energy. If we had Ramanujan here, he could make a formula. By experience, you could see if it is working. God created in man a door that opens inward. By sitting very still, he can travel into space. They should set up a voluntary ND practice at NASA. The sparkling sun, which is cool, is better. You can see it when you are dead. That is when the body is dead. Taking the mind dead, too, is a long process, but it's very good for you. Man without the mind is a god. Why should life be ordinary when it could be extremely transcendental? If you sit up straight and meditate, and instead of hesitate, you could be great. Hashtag Simran, hashtag Sikar, hashtag Ramanujan, hashtag Srinivasa Ramanujan meditation. It has this formula from Ramanujan. Wild. The charging of words seems to rise exponentially. I know you said the charging of the words rises exponentially.
Charging.
Is there a difference between the advanced practitioner and the beginner? Well, you'd think there would be. There's a poem here. It's September 10th. The difference between the advanced meditator and the beginner. It has palm.
Yeah.
Good pictures.
There
Palm. There is very little difference between the advanced meditator and the beginner. So there's only a little difference. The main difference is what is subtracted. The advanced meditator has fewer attachments.
Wow.
Oh, if you have fewer things, does that mean you're advanced? The advanced meditator sort of meditates like ordinary people eat. Oh. So you meditate in the same ordinary sort of way ordinary people eat, though he eats light and bliss. He also gets periodically hungry. He considers non-meditators. He considers non-meditators to be starving and feels sorry for them. The same way you feel sorry for the blind. Meditation is very nutritious as well as delicious. Attachments preoccupy you and you can see how they block you. When you have fewer, you can more easily direct your spirit current to the center. Fewer attachments and preoccupations is noticeably better. It is like you need to reach critical mass when you are more enlightened than not. Oh, so you can become more so than not. For this, you probably need longer practice as well as greater fitness. Really understand? These podcasts are terrible. Simple stuff. Somebody should put a stop to it. Yeah. This is terrible. They should. Yeah, how do you put a stop to freedom of speech? Well, I don't know. He has the right. If he has the right to. Podcast is poetry. But what if it's simple and not correct or something? What if it's full of errors?
Jesus Christ.
What do you do about it? Yeah, what if he's not enlightened? Yeah, that's a problem. These are the poems of David Smith, read by the author, not from his Wix blog. This one is from September 2018. So they're in the BC era, that would be 2 BC, let's say, before coronavirus. But if you think that these poems are a sin, then maybe they should be stopped somehow. But how do you stop the sin? Well, the poem says the only way to stop sinning is to be able to stop thinking. Oh, so if he stopped thinking, he would stop sinning. So stop thinking and then don't write a poem and don't podcast a sinful poem. Okay. Then why don't you just meditate and not think and not write a poem and not podcast a poem? Well, okay, well, let's see what the poem says about a poem. After 8 years of practice and 42 years of learning, it's finally working. Huh. Oh, so you said it's finally working after 8 years and 42 years of learning. Oh, so you've been learning 42 years. But in 8 years of regular practice, you just can't eat a lot or have sex. Yeah, the sex could interfere, so does eating a lot. So. Oh, well, if you stop eating a lot, yeah, I didn't say stop eating, I said stop eating a lot. That is, you just can't eat a lot or have sex. That is transcendentalism. I still have to pray a lot, and I can't save anyone. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can't save anyone. Oh, you're not a guru, right? No. I can't save anyone. You can have grace up unto yourself and get up. Yeah, so I get to execute grace upon myself by getting up in the morning. Is that graceful to just get up early? Well, you could argue sleeping in late is not to man. It's just sort of like, I can't imagine that anymore, to sleep in late. I'd end up groggy and be a groggy and grumpy old man if I did that. But you are already, well, I'd be worse. So you can have grace unto yourself and get up. If you sit very often, your legs get used to it. Yeah, like you were sitting and, yeah, there was an issue where you had one chair and you're hanging out with somebody and you had only one chair. And so they said, well, you can sit in the lotus position. So I had to sit in the cross-legged. Oh, you can do that now at your advanced age, despite being groggy. And 42 years practicing. Well, your legs should be functional. I mean, you did swim a lot. Yeah, I swam quite a few laps. I swam 16 laps, 1.1 1.6 kilometers. Well, okay, so that's barely a mile. Okay. Well, that is helpful to the legs. If you swim a lot, your legs get used to it. If you sit very often, your legs get used to it. Around here, it is the only story, but it is a sweet victory. I am still quite ordinary. That's why I continue my practice. Yeah, I'm continuing very much. My practice continues way beyond the 10 years. I may have to continue past my death. Oh, are you going to meditate on the higher planes in an ashram after your death? Yeah. I'm going to continue because I am still quite ordinary. That's why I continue my practice even after death. And I have to watch the thoughts that flow through my head and cut the bad ones out, and also the good ones during meditation.
Yeah.
Oh, you're cutting out your good thoughts. Yeah. Instead of having great thoughts, it is better to have pure consciousness. Oh, so you're cutting out your great thoughts, but what'll happen to the poetry? Are you cutting your poetry? But maybe you should realize it's just not great, and maybe it's not good. So, oh, is that the purpose of the podcast? To determine if the poetry's any good? Yeah, to see if it attracts any listeners at all. Okay. Instead of having great thoughts, it is better to have pure consciousness. I use Simran to do self-healing. A lack of enlightenment is an ailment to a mystic. Oh, so lack of enlightenment is an ailment to a mystic, which requires treatment. If you don't have an occupation, you can take up this one.
I can't see.
Yeah, if you don't have any career or occupation, job or something, you can take up this one. It's not worse than drug addiction. Yeah, it's not. It's certainly not. I would say it's not worse than drug addiction. Okay. But it's like a drug addiction. It's just that you don't have the drug, or the drug is a transcendental one. It's the nectar of your third eye that you get addicted to. So it's not worse than drug addiction, but it's very similar. The extreme calm is good for your skin. In modern times, meditation is not considered a crime. Oh, okay. It's not a crime, like maybe in medieval times or earlier times, if you were caught meditating, you could have been considered a crime. Yeah, they may have said maybe the Spanish Inquisition or somebody, or maybe in New England witch trials or something. They caught you meditating. They could have considered it a crime. In modern times, meditation is not considered a crime. You can find time in the early morning and evening. The only way to stop sinning is to be able to stop thinking. All right, I think you made your point here. But I just don't think it's going to be that popular. You realize that these really aren't that great of thoughts. I mean, this is very commonplace. So. Yeah, this is not a great poem, and it's not a great thought. So you could have been meditating in pure consciousness. Yeah. DS poem, September 30th, 2018. Quote, if you became unable to stop thinking, you also couldn't stop yourself from sinning, unquote. Line 1347, Book 4 of the Masnavi by Rumi. Translator Jawid Mojadedi. Oh, that's worth repeating because that's credible, because that's Rumi. Okay. Quote, if you became unable to stop thinking, you also couldn't stop yourself from sinning. Line 1347, Book 4. Hashtag transcendentalism, hashtag Rumi, hashtag Simran, hashtag meditation, hashtag mindfulness, hashtag practice, hashtag meditation practice. So you're just practicing meditation here. So you're still practicing, really? Yeah. So these are poems about you practicing, I guess. Practicing where you try to stop thinking. Yeah. Because the only way to stop sinning is to be able to stop thinking. How long does it take you to tame that beast? What beast? Oh, your mind. Oh, my mind. Yeah. Oh, your mind. Do you tame it? Or does it? How is it tamed? Oh, I don't know. This is September 29th. It says something about it. The mind.
Tomorrow I have tennis.
Oh, I see. You say, in 2 hours, the mind becomes tired. Oh, so it just becomes tired. You became tired. Are you tired now? In 2 hours, the mind becomes tired of its own turmoil. Oh. So you're saying that your mind might settle down if it just runs out of its own. Is your mind in turmoil? Yeah, usually your mind is most in the West. Oh, in the East, they're never in turmoil. They're always, all the people from the East are at perfect enlightenment. Yeah. If you're from China or Japan, India, you're absolutely perfect, and you go into instantaneous enlightenment. Yeah, they have no turmoil. It's only Westerners with the cars and stuff. I'm just kidding. In 2 hours, the mind becomes tired of its own turmoil. Yeah, your mind could become bored with thinking, I suppose. Oh yeah, you were saying in the prior part, if you stop thinking, you might stop sinning, but for the 2 hours that you're thinking, I suppose you'll continue to sin. Yeah. So most people, by thinking, sin. A standard of 2 hours a day. Also, you do 2 hours a day of sinning and thought. Yeah. In 2 hours, the mind becomes tired of its own sins. Of its own turmoil. That is why meditation should last 3 to 6 hours. It comes preloaded with a game plan to prevent meditation, but only enough to last 2 hours. Also, you come with a packet from the negative power Vitasio packet.
Okay.
Oh, he has a kit. Yeah, you get a kit, and your brain is loaded. 2 hours of thoughts. Oh,
I'll
really?
see you Wednesday.
Then why don't you just dump it into this podcast? Okay, I'm just dumping my thoughts into my poems and then into my podcast. Yeah, it comes preloaded with the game plan to prevent meditation, but only enough to last 2 hours. Yeah, usually I don't find enough material to think of. I can't find enough stuff to think about past 2 hours. I mean, goodness, how long do you want to think? Or do you get tired of your own thinking? Yeah, I'm tired of thinking myself. I'm tired of thinking about thinking, so. Oh, yeah, I see what you mean, I think. You could just sit there and become tired. The Zen master, he would say the same thing. He would just say, sit there and just wait it out until you stop thinking. And then he would hit you with his stick. If you had a thought, he would whack you. Is that what you want to do? Is to be like a Zen master and hit people with your stick? Isn't that like having a thought, like a desire to be the master, to be a Zen master, so you can hit people? Yeah, they should be whacked if they have a thought, really, and then maybe they would stop. In 2 hours, the mind becomes tired of its own turmoil. That is why meditation should last 3 to 6 hours. It comes preloaded with the game plan to prevent meditation, but only enough to last 2 hours. Then it gets tired of its dry boredom and is ready for actual meditation because it needs recharging. Oh, so what you could do, I guess, what I would do, is on my meditation retreat, I could have the people meditate for 2 hours and then just let their minds wander for 2 hours. I'll tell them, I'll say, go ahead and just think for 2 hours. What kind of Zen master are you? You would tell them, yeah, go ahead and think a lot. So I would start out by saying, just let your mind think a lot, and went out the packet that the devil gave you, okay? And then after the 3rd hour, then I'll make my grand presence. I'll come in and take my seat as the grand high priest, assuming that I've learned how to stop thinking. Yeah, then I'll come in and you could actually have meditation. Is this in the monastery? Yeah. It comes preloaded with the game plan to prevent meditation, but only enough to last 2 hours. Then it gets tired of its dry boredom. Yeah, these thoughts are dry and boring. Oh, your thoughts are dry and boring? Yeah, I noticed that. And is ready for actual meditation because it needs recharging. The seat of the higher mind is higher up on the 3rd plane, so it needs to go there. Yeah, you need to go higher, I think. It is like the children playing. After a while, they get tired and fall asleep. Oh, so your mind is like a child's, yeah. The children get tired of playing, actually. They'll just peter out after 2 hours of hard playing. It is like the children playing. After a while, they get tired and fall asleep. Then you finally have some peace, yeah. Then you, after the children fall asleep, typically, and you're a parent, then you actually have some peace and consider meditation. Your soul and the master also get tired of waiting. Yeah, the master's actually tired of waiting for you at the 3rd eye to meet you. He's sick and tired of waiting as well, so. And your soul itself is tired of waiting. The mind's interference is boring. Huh. Yeah. I guess you could get to that point where you're bored with your own thoughts. Yeah. Mine are particularly boring, especially the repeating ones. The mind's interference is boring. It could also just be food in the stomach. The stomach should be empty for like 12 hours. Professional meditators just don't eat. In most meditation classes, by the time you withdraw, it is time to leave. Yeah, that's the problem now. In most meditation classes, by the time you withdraw, it is time to leave. That is why in my advanced meditation class, there are no hours. If you get up, you are struck with a stick and asked to sit somewhere. Wow. I know you're obsessed with the stick. And do you have one of those bamboo sticks that you hike with? I know you have a light one, but have you ever struck anybody, or is this an abstract thought? I thought you were nonviolent. No, I'm just striking at the thoughts in my own stupid head, especially the boring ones. Okay. DS Poem, September 29, 2018. It has Emily Dickinson. Poem number 937. Says, I felt a cleaving in my mind, as if my brain had split. I tried to match it, seam by seam, but could not make them fit. The thought behind, I strove to join unto the thought before, but sequence reveled out of sound like balls upon a floor. Poem 937, Emily Dickinson. And the picture is Davy with a handball of all things.
Oh my God, Amar, what's happening?
He's got, what's the handball? Well, he's trying to... Is that his mind? He's trying to get his mind collected through the handball. Yeah, and it says, it has a little scratching. It has something with the Emily Dickinson scratchings. It says, the thought behind, I felt a clearing in my mind. She felt a cleaving. It looks like a clearing to me. Actually, the cleaving, you know, you wonder if they got the script right. I felt a clearing in my mind, or is it a cleaving? Yeah, that's the question. In 2 hours, the mind might become tired of this podcast.